All right, so this upcoming week or tomorrow, don't do it today, or you could do it today, but I'd rather you consider this new strategy of opposite behavior modification, something that you've got to practice as a new strategy. And the way it works is very simple. When you come into a situation that you typically would do the norm, you simply switch. So we'll talk about it a little bit right here on the Coach's Corner. Thank you for following us right here on Spreaker, Twitter, Facebook. I want to say that up front today. And thank you for telling a friend about who we are, what we do, and keeping it locked right here. Coach's Corner. Stand by. Welcome aboard one more time. 5 minutes a day or more. Keep the trouble at bay if we can. And I just want to say thank you again. We want to talk about a strategy that's relatively simple that I discovered, not from a book, not from a psychologist or a psychoanalyst, but something that I had tried when I was working for a large transportation company here in America. And that strategy involves opposite behavior modification. It should have been called SOPM, surprise opposite behavior modification, because you cannot announce what you're going to do. You cannot talk about what you're going to do. You cannot write in your journal what you're going to do. You cannot tell your best friend, your wife, or your husband what you're going to do. It should be called surprise opposite behavior modification, because it is something that you pinpoint in your mind that you're going to do as an immediate response to what you would normally do. For instance, and I know you've tried this in traffic. For instance, you're riding along and you're doing the speed limit. Everybody around you goes around, blows their horn, or whatever the case may be. You decide in an instant. It wasn't a part of your journaling that morning, for the love of goodness, okay? You decide in an instant. Y'all can go around. I'm going to enjoy my ride to work today. And for some of you, that might be a lightweight example because you may drive that way all the time. But the point of the matter is, it's in an instant that you decide to do the opposite of what you would normally do. Here's another simplistic example. In my neighborhood, we live in a lake community. And often when I first moved into the neighborhood, I used to speak to everybody because I'm from Ohio. And that's what you do when you see a human being. You speak. Well, thinking that the Southern hospitality would be the same or match that which I value, which is good morning, good day, or good evening. Well, people wasn't speaking back. And after a while, I drive around on my golf cart, around the lake and to the different beaches and stuff that we have. And I'd speak, and I want to say 50% or more people just wouldn't speak back. And so one day, I didn't write about it. I didn't talk about it. I didn't complain about it. I didn't get upset about it. I said, you know what? If somebody looks at me, I'm not speaking. I said this in my mind. I pinpointed a behavior that I wanted to do the opposite of. So sure enough, go out on the golf cart, maybe take the kids or whatever and see somebody. And I didn't stick to the strategy long because it's kind of rude, but I wanted to see what it would feel like, what it would be like, what kind of, after effects I would have emotionally, psychosocially, if you will, And so somebody spoke, and I just looked at them. What the hell? I just looked at them and kept it moving. Somebody else looked at me and, before they could speak, I just turned my head. It didn't feel good. We could talk about that in another day. But the point of the matter is this. If you keep doing the same old thing, you'll never know what else you can get from it. So, remember this, your brain doesn't know the difference nearly between an act and a deed. Yes, as a man thinketh, so is he. Where the ETH on the end of think in the Hebrew indicates a continued process. Not as a man thought, so is he. In other words, you've been thinking about a job for the past 5 years. And now you have come to grips with the fact that you cannot wait any longer. You don't want to talk about it. You don't want to have a conversation with your grandma about it. You don't want to talk to your wife about it. You're tired of people giving you advice about it. You're going to wake up one morning. You're not going to write about it. You're going to practice some OBM. You're tired of that client. You're not going to keep on trying to deal with them. You're not going to send them another email. You're going to practice some OBM, opposite behavior modification. And let it be a surprise. Study your notes from the situation. Study how you feel. Study the reaction. Study what happened, the production of the fruit therein. But the point of the matter is this. Keep doing the same thing you've been doing, you get the same results, and you can't complain. This has been the Coach's Corner. I'm the coach, Marcus Select. See you next time.